Matt Landis, and this morning we're going to look at the Logitech SmartDock, also known as the Skype room system. And the SmartDock, the one that we got comes with the extender box, and we're going to focus on the SmartDock to the exclusion of the extender box and even the Logitech group video and speakerphone that we got. So we can just focus on the Logitech SmartDock and the Skype room system functionality. So let's go. First of all, we're going to just look at the device itself. So you'll notice, it's plastic. It has a shiny frame on the front, and I've noticed mine gets some fingerprints there, but the back is matte, or it's not shiny, so no worries about fingerprints there. It is plastic, but it feels nice and solid. And the swivel works very nice. You grab it, it swivels very smoothly. A couple things you're going to notice: there's a lock. There is an audio jack for, I understand, accessibility devices. And then also another thing that you might not be expecting is there is a bunch of cables. So you have so in our case here, you have an HDMI, you have a Cat5, you have USB power. There's just a couple of them. We actually, in our case, we have two HDMI. The device only supports one at the moment, one screen. So there's going to be a few. And if you use the extender, you have one, but it is a pretty thick cable. So in any case, cables are something that are going to be involved in this device. So continuing to look at the device, you're going to notice a white light and a kind of square here, and that is a sensor to detect when someone comes in the room. I've noticed when I come walking into the room, it takes a couple seconds, maybe 5 seconds, and then the device lights up. Of course, it lights up the single screen that it supports as well. So that's a nice functionality, or a nice feature. You have a power button on the top here, and I've noticed it could have maybe a little better feedback. You're not quite sure if you pressed it, but it works. Not a problem there. So once again, people are going to grab this to move it so that they can use the device. So the swivel, very nice. One thing, the angle is fixed. So if there's a glare for some reason, and it is shiny, you have that fixed angle. So looking at the functionality of the software on the device, we have it set up here with no meetings. I'll add a meeting, show you how that looks. But let's say you walk up to the device, it's connected to your room. This is a small room, but let's say it's a big room. You want to throw something up on your screen. You have a PC you bring into the room, you want to throw that up on the screen. And it's really straightforward. You just plug in the HDMI in cable. Everything is included, so you'll see there's nothing on the screen. We don't have to touch anything on there if we have it configured to automatically. And of course now I can't see. Okay, so go like that. You plug the thing in, and okay, and then the screen starts showing up there. So you move my mouse there. What happened? It's jumping about a bit, but there you can see my mouse is moving on the screen. Go like that. You can see my screen even at the login. It's just pretty snappy. You plug it in and it starts projecting. If you didn't want to project it, you can tap on here to avoid it. Like that. You can easily throw something. If it has a display port you can plug into. So I'm just going to unplug and show something here. So I unplugged that device, and now of course on the screen it shows you touching. If I click present with nothing plugged in, it'll give you a nice indicator. Plug your HDMI cable, which is included with the kit. Just plug that in. So stop that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a scheduled meeting to this device and show you what the join experience is. So we'll just go ahead and add a meeting from another computer. All right, so now I've added a Skype meeting to this room system. Really just set up a Skype meeting normally from my PC and added this room system as a participant. And now we have a meeting. There would be more of them if there was more scheduled, but there's just one at the moment. And I'm just going to say join. And it's going to jump in the meeting. And now we have joined the meeting. It's really that straightforward. walk into the room, it wakes up the screen, and click join. So that's really the key for Skype room systems, and these units particularly make that join experience really, really efficient. So we're going to add a few more users to this meeting. But in the meantime, while we're doing that, I'm just going to show you controlling the meeting from the Logitech SmartDock or the Skype room system. So what you can do is touch on a user, tap and hold. At least I thought you could. What's going on here? Did I do something? So let's go back here. Typically you can just tap and hold and then you have some more options. Alright, I'm not sure what was happening there, but when you tap on a user, then you have more options like mute them, lock the video. It depends what type of participant they are. You can make them an attendee or presenter. And so there we have another one. So mute, unmute. Oops, better mute that so we don't get a bunch of squawk back because I think those people are together. Of course, you can mute all or unmute. Very simple user interface. You can also actually do instant messages. Not the most efficient without so press high and then hit enter. But you can send IMs. And of course down at the content, pretty much that's involving plugging in an external screen at the moment. I think at some point there's going to be wireless participation. I tried to use my little mobile device to HDMI. Did not work this morning. So there, I think Javeth replied with an IM in the user interface. And then back to participants, I think that's where you'll probably largely live. So you can mute your video, mute your audio, makes sense. Turn on the reason that's not available, I realize, is if your screen goes to sleep, you sort of lose the ability to control that, which that laptop is on battery. You can mute or turn off or turn on your, and then of course your audio level. All right, so we're going to look what we're seeing on the screen here. So we have multiple video. There's multiple layouts. So currently we have the get that thing showing. Keeps going into screen sharing mode, but then you have multiple. So if you don't have any content, you can do all video up to 4. If you have content, then you, as you can see on the screen right now, you have the content on the left and the video lined up on the right, and then or you can go the route of just all video. So go back to layout again and go back to content and the video. One of the things I've noticed, if someone talks, there's kind of a fade in of blue around that video. Jeff, could I get you to do that just so we can see that? So maybe we'll make it a little larger by turning off.
Yep. Down here.
Okay, so now we have the 4 videos, and you don't see, I don't know if there's a line when you're talking. Of course, I was talking all the time. Go ahead.
1, 2, 3. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
You know, it looks like when there is the 4 videos, you don't have it. So I'm going to turn on the. I'm trying to think when you see that. Let's just turn on my content, and then if you want to go to talk, yeah, there you can see it on the edges of the video when Japheth is making. I guess you could see that.
Yep.
And as he talks, it just sort of fades in, very gentle. Nice layouts. I think they're pretty nice layouts. All right. So there, once again, pretty straightforward. Manage your content, manage your instant message, and manage the audio and video of the participants. Of course, on the left, you always see what the meeting is doing. All right, so what we've done now is we've added more than 4 video feeds, remote video feeds, and if you'll notice, the non-active user went down as a little avatar in the left lower corner. I imagine they would line up there if we kept adding more. But yeah, so we have the 4 large videos. The other ones get pushed down. Sure, obviously their audio will be in this feed, but so just what the layouts look at like. Okay, so right? All right, so we're going to exit this meeting now and show what it looks like. So you can also use this in a more ad hoc fashion. So let's say so I'm exiting them, to hit that, exit the meeting. And so now we're out of the meeting. Of course, you could rejoin it. But what I'm going to do is get my colleague, Japheth, to do an incoming call. So show a little more ad hoc scenarios where, let's say you come walking in the room and someone calls in. Just more like a phone kind of scenario. So just waiting here. And there you see the incoming call, and we can accept or ignore. We will just accept that. And so now we've done called into. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to exit that call. And we're going to do an ad hoc new meeting. Well, before we do that, here's one of the options. So this is the main screen, pretty straightforward. One of the options is invite this room, and really it just lets you know how to get this room into a meeting. You know, you can invite using a normal Outlook like I did to get this meeting on, but that's all that does. So another thing we can do is actually call somebody, just dial in the phone number and connect, kind of using this like a phone or a speakerphone. Of course, you can add more people then. Or the other way you can do it is do an ad hoc new meeting and just invite a Skype user, or for that matter, a phone number you could do from here. But so there we are, and then we just invite him. So, Skype room system. My overall impression of the Logitech SmartDock / Skype room system is a very nice experience. We're not going to spend too much time in this room on configuring it. We're going to have a separate video for that. But the overall experience is really good. I would say it's simple. It just kind of works. I had a scenario too where I tried to join a meeting, it wouldn't, whereas when we came from another PC we could join. I don't know what was happening there. You know, that might be due to this software being new, but overall it's worked really nice. I think they're doing a good job of making the UI match the touch experience. I think generally it works pretty good. Oh, one last thing I was going to show that I did not, and that is the settings. So of course we have the volume. One is accessibility, and you can turn the high contrast off. So that, and then another option is the settings. And what that does is pretty much logs out, gets you to log in as the administrator, so that not just anybody can change those settings. And let me type that in and show you what those are. Alright, so I typed in the password, and now we're in the settings. And really you have the login information, domain, that kind of thing. Then there's two features that you can configure. Do you want to have the screen sharing when you plug it in, automated shared online meeting when you plug in a device? Do you want that to happen? That makes sense. You plug it in and it immediately. Another thing is, I wasn't quite sure of the use of this, but hide meeting names. So on our main screen, do you want the meeting name to show? I would think you kind of would want to normally. It's off by default to hide it, so apparently that's what most people want. What are some Windows settings here? And then that's going into, I think, the Windows OS. So if you want to exit without saving, it goes back to the device. But you can only change that those settings by having. Well, in summary, on the Skype room system, the Logitech SmartDock in specific, what are my thoughts? What would I say? Well, number one, I think the UI is very smooth, very easy. One-click join has been nailed. That really works. It's nice hardware. The user experience will be very good. There will be cable management. You'll have to, it's not necessarily the user that's going to have to deal with that, but that will need to be dealt with. And we had a couple times where we clicked and it didn't do exactly what we were thinking, but this is new. It'll be iterated. That'll be improved, I'm sure. And I really think that we have a room system that's going to hit the sweet spot for a lot of conference rooms. Maybe I can say the bulk of conference rooms. And I think Skype room system, Logitech SmartDock, and as a Skype room system looks to me to be a very nice combination. Thanks.